Welcome to the Revel Podcast with Robby and Cindy.
I'm Cindy.
I'm Robby, and we talk about random things. And we're going to do this twice a month now, first Tuesday and third Tuesday of every month. So some months will only have, some months there'll be a week. There's going to be a week break
Tuesday.
sometimes. Sometimes there's going to be a 2-week break. Today we're going to talk about focus. So it's January 5th. Oh, tomorrow's your birthday. Happy
Tomorrow
birthday.
is my birthday. Thanks.
Okay. Today we're going to talk about focus on January.
Which we're already having trouble doing.
No. That's
kidding.
not exactly it, because
I'm just kidding.
on January 1st, this is not my New Year's resolution. I had one New Year's resolution, which was real simple, and it's not really a resolution. It's just a thing. I'm only going to shop on Amazon on the first of the month, every month.
That's a good resolution.
Yeah, I guess it's a resolution because of how much I already shop on there. But my plan is I can still buy whatever I want, okay? But I can only do it on the first of the month. And I feel like that's something I can actually stick to because it still gives me a chance to buy something. But it'll let me cool off from those, like, oh man, there's an art book for $14.99. Let me get that. I don't even buy art books that often anymore, but that's the type of thing. But anyways, the last week or two, you had the grandkids over. And my office is in that room. And this is a small house. It's basically one room, There's bedrooms, but if anything is happening in this room, it's very hard to focus in another room. There's also like the sound and everything. So for a week or so, I couldn't do any of my work. And it was like I was very distracted. And just the past year or so, when I've been working, it's not I sit down to work. It's I sit down to play on the internet. And in between playing on the internet, I get work done. It's not quite that bad, and there are times where I just focus and I get to work. But I was like, I can do better than this. And it's not even so much I can do better. That's not my main goal, because I get all my work done even with lots of playing on the internet.
I was going to say, you among the people that I know, you are the most organized at like, I'm going to get this done. You just do it, and then you move on to something else.
But I feel like it's not sustainable to have all of these distractions all the time when you're trying to get things done. You can get everything done and you still have all the distractions, but I feel like after I'm done, my brain is done. Like my brain is completely fried. So anyway, 3 days ago, I decided, okay, let me see what this looks like if I work in hour at a time chunks, where in that hour, I work on the thing I'm working on. And I don't switch to some other task. I don't have my phone there to distract me the whole time. And I just give my mind a chance to just focus on one thing and not constantly have to look at like, oh. And so far, it's only been like 3 or 4 days. It's worked out really well. Like at the end of the day, I work pretty solidly from like 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock with a big lunch break in between, like an hour and a half. So hour for lunch break is not enough.
No, an hour is by the time you cook. If you didn't cook,
then maybe
or like if you just ate like a slap together a sandwich.
But I also run, and that's a solid 25 minutes every time.
Definitely not enough.
But anyways, I feel like it's been really good, and I've been focusing. But I think more than just getting stuff done, that's not the purpose. Like that wasn't the goal from the start.
Yeah, you weren't having any trouble with that.
Yeah, getting stuff done was not the problem. The goal was to feel better about what I'm doing and feel like I'm actually like, it feels better to be like, oh, this is what I'm doing now. And not, just kind of like,
Well, I have so many things that I want to comment on that. First of all, do you recall when I used to do the fly lady thing?
Yes.
Okay. So her concept, and this is for organizational, she got a lot of guff because really it was about helping housewives stay on top of everything that has to be done in a home. And I don't know why she got guff for that, because that's a hard job. When you got kids,
there's
you got
all
housework,
sorts of
there's
stuff
all
to do.
sorts of stuff to take care of. But she did get a lot of guff because it felt like that she was just helping people be slaves. I didn't agree with that. But on a whole nother topic, she had the suggestion, especially when you have a lot going on and you have a big project that you can't just let everything else go, that you do everything in 15-minute increments. And even if you don't have anything else to do, you do it for 15 minutes because that's a manageable amount of time. And she even had a little timer, which I bought, and it's up there, and you almost broke it the other day. That's a Fly Lady timer.
Oh, well, before you get too far into it, that's interesting because now they call it the Pomodoro method. And there's like a little tomato timer, and it's like 20 minutes and then 5-minute breaks.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, this is 15 minutes, and
I could have the details wrong, so if you're a
that's
Pomodoro,
right.
you know, whatever. Yeah,
it's all right. People will they'll comment and let you know.
Yeah. Wrong. Okay.
But I tend to ADD, like I'm flitting here, I'm flitting there, all that kind of stuff. And that was recommended to me as a way to get a little more control over what I do. And when I've had big projects, I would force myself to do 15 minutes of the project and then 15 minutes of reading a book. It doesn't work to put Netflix on because Netflix will just suck you in and you'll be there forever. But to literally make yourself stop, or also saying things like, don't try to clean the whole closet out at once. Pick a manageable part of it and then do it 15 minutes at a time. And then eventually the ability to focus got easier for me anyway, even though she doesn't recommend it, but I would go, okay, well, I'm going to do 30 minutes.
Okay. So a couple things. One, I don't think 15 minutes is a long enough interval.
Yeah, it isn't. It isn't. That's why I had to extend it, just because I'd be right. It takes me 15 minutes to get my thoughts together.
Yeah. It takes 15 minutes to get warmed up.
Yeah.
That's part of why, because I feel like 15 minutes, 5 minutes, that'd be just as bad as doing the internet.
Yeah,
browsing
exactly.
For me.
Exactly.
But that's part of why I want to focus, is because the quality of the stuff I do and the amount that I enjoy it becomes more when I've been able to ramp up into it and then get on a roll.
Yeah.
Like if I do, especially like music writing, I usually don't have too much problem when I'm writing music to jump back and forth. It's more when I'm editing video that I'll jump to the internet, because there's so many times when I'm editing a video where the computer's thinking for a second, like I'm rendering an effect or something, or I'm saving or something.
There's an automatic pause.
Yeah, it's just like, it's only like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, but I'll take that opportunity to alt tab over to some website.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah. And
I would never do that.
It started to drive me crazy how much I was doing it, in large part because the websites I go to, they don't update often enough. I swore off things like Reddit and Facebook and stuff because they're too addictive and they have too much. And Twitter was the big one. Facebook, I haven't had a problem with a long time. Twitter, it's infinitely entertaining to me. And like every time I go there, somebody's posted something new. So I got rid of that. Anyway, I'm kind of going all over the place.
But I, as I use that system, I'm like you. I felt when I was finished working on something, I wasn't exhausted because my choices are to be flitting all over the place or to hyper focus, which I can do really well.
Right.
I can sit in front of my computer or on a project and work on it from the time I get up in the morning to the time I go to bed, not get up and go to the bathroom, not drink any water, not do anything. But it's a very unpleasant experience. That's how I usually do my taxes, my accounting. I wait a long time, then I do that. So it makes perfect sense to me that you would set a goal like that to find a way to be satisfied with the work that you're doing, with the process, not just what's the product. Because I think I think we both are, but I think we're journey people. Like, it's not so much about where we get to on the dance floor. It's the journey. And if you're doing it in a way that's unpleasant, then for heaven's sakes, why bother?
Yeah. Well, actually, I feel like that's an interesting thing because I don't have any problem getting things done.
No, that's true.
I have established that I can get things done and I can make stuff. I've made 40 some episodes of Adventure Archives, these big hour-long videos. I've done over 1,000 vlogs. Like, I can do projects. Like, I've established that. Now the part that I'm trying to refine is the longevity of it. Like, it's kind of like when you're a kid and you're playing sports, right? You just run like a maniac. You fall down, you're bashing yourself up. You're like, this is not sustainable. Just like in the same way I would go to Andrew's house Andrew and Brian's house, and I'd edit the episodes, like the first 20-ish episodes.
You did that for a long time.
I would drive to Ohio, and we'd work on it for like a week, like nonstop, just day and night. And I'd be sleeping on a couch, and by the end of the week, I'd want to die. And that's not sustainable. So now what I'm trying to do is find more ways to make the work that I'm doing more sustainable and more enjoyable while I'm doing it. Not just this, okay, it's like the difference between an overnighter and studying 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, not exactly, because studying 20 minutes a day, unless you like to study, that's just prolonging the pain. Well, and I think that fits right into what you're talking about, because pulling an all-nighter is also painful.
Yeah.
But it's one night. Like, so you did that. You went there for a week. Now,
yeah.
Does it take you longer now to do an episode?
It kind of does, yeah. I mean, it takes physically more days. Like we used to be able to knock them out in a week. It takes 2 weeks now, for sure.
But at the end of that 2 weeks, you've had enjoyment, you haven't lost a week of the rest of your life.
Yeah. I've still been able to function as a normal human being and do my normal routine and everything.
Yeah. And I think that's learning to be able to focus in that way. I wish I were like you. I wish I could say I am really good at getting things done, because I'm not that good at it. I do procrastinate.
Well, I think you are good at getting things done. You just don't get everything done.
That's true.
I mean, if it's
true.
If you're getting paid to do it, or if it's somebody else's project, it gets done. Like you don't have any problem with that. It's just your own stuff. You don't give it enough priority to where
that's true.
Like, oh yeah, this. Sometimes you do,
but only if it's like putting the floor down in the garage.
Yeah.
That was.
You built a studio out in like a couple days.
Yeah, I did.
But you can't keep your room clean.
That's accurate. Although it's pretty clean right now. Did you see?
No, I haven't. I don't look at that pigsty.
I have 2 small boxes in the floor that I still need to go through. But anyway, and that's partly because that is just not important to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It isn't important to me, and even getting paid, I will put things off that I will get paid for, because getting paid for it is not that important to me either.
Yeah.
But if somebody needs me to do it,
yeah,
even if pay me or not pay me, it's going to get done. Or if I think that it will, I don't know, it'll be really helpful to somebody, even if they haven't asked for it, I'll do that.
Yeah. There was something I was just about to say about this. It's totally escaping me.
That's all right. Yeah.
Well, anyways, how's your year been? Did you make any resolution?
I did, and I'm embarrassed to say it, because this is not the kind of resolution that I usually make, because I don't really care about that stuff until I got this stupid Apple Watch. So March of last year, I had every day had all the rings closed and a workout.
Right.
It was beautiful on the. I mean, just the calendar looks so good. So I was going to do it in April. I got to April 25th, and then my watch died. And remember that? And you had to you did a bunch of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So for 2 days, I didn't get anything, and after that, I was just like. So now I decided. Because it is not a problem Monday through Friday, because I teach class every day.
Yeah.
So I always do a workout Monday through Friday, but Saturday and Sundays are more difficult. But now on the Apple TV, Apple Watch, they've got Apple Fitness.
Yeah.
And I can basically do some other kind of work with somebody else leading it, so I don't have to kill myself. And I got it. So far, I got it.
So you're trying to do
I'm trying
rings.
to do it again. Yeah. Let me.
Wait, you want to do rings for the whole year or just for the month?
Well, I want to try to do 1 month at a time, and then I'll set a new resolution. I don't want to say the whole year, because that's difficult. But let me show you this. Get there. Da-da-da. So that
I can confirm. Well, today your
I'm not
blue
done
one's
yet.
not okay.
You have to stand 12 hours. I haven't been awake 12 hours.
Oh, okay.
But I'm close. I don't know how close I am, but Anyway, it looks really good. Like when you get the whole month.
Yeah.
That's really my only resolution.
Okay. So I just read an article called The Bus Ticket Theory of Genius. And there's people who collect old bus tickets.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had never heard of this before. I didn't verify this, so maybe he's just completely making this up. But the point is people get into things.
Yeah.
Okay? I get into sharp pixels in old video games. Okay, I'm like, how can I make those pixels even sharper? And then other people are like, I don't give a shit about that. But it's the same sort of thing. People are obsessed about bus tickets. But his theory is that it's not just talent and perseverance. It's also you kind of have to be obsessed with something to become like an Einstein at something or to become really good at anything.
Yeah.
And I was looking at those circles. Mm-hmm. I don't give a shit about those circles. But to you, it's somehow a motivation.
Yeah, it is. And
Yeah.
I didn't even want this. This was a gift.
Yeah.
And he convinced me that I would really like it. And I was like, well, okay, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And now well, first of all, I use it for my music, and I don't really check it a lot during the day.
Yeah.
But about 7 o'clock at night, I'm like, I only got a couple more hours before I'm going to bed. I better check those. And I when I said I didn't do it the rest of the year, that's not true. I never set an intention to do it for a whole month.
Yeah, because your spirit was broken.
My spirit was broken. It's like I was doing everything. And those days, I know if I'd had the watch on,
Yeah.
it would have been there, but it didn't look like it.
Yeah.
Which is really not exactly like me. It's having a weird effect because I'm way more substance over form.
Yeah.
And so I could have been perfectly happy going, I know I did it, but I'm like, but I can't take a picture of it. I did, oddly, I shared the picture of the March one on Facebook. I was like, look what I did. I never put stuff on Facebook like, oh, I did this, I did that.
Yeah.
I might share something sweet or whatever, but not that. But it has impacted the way I look at it, especially, fitness is my career. Mm-hmm. That's what I do for a living. You would think that it wouldn't be that hard. So I've just decided that's what I'll do.
Okay. Well, kind of circling back to the topic again, when you were in school, what were your focus and study habits like?
I was a good studier. I was not a good homework doer. I was much better if it was like, do it tonight, turn it in tomorrow. I am not a person, you give me something to do at the end of the week and I'll work on it.
Yeah.
I was not that.
Well, very few people I think are.
Yeah.
You have to have an extraordinary level of foresight to be able to.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can do it later. But I always got really, really good grades, but I also studied more than anybody else. Like it wasn't easy. It got easier over time, but was it was stuff that interested you though, right? Because you said you used to do math problems for fun. Yeah. And physics problems for fun with Julie Anderson and in her bedroom after school. And it's not like I was an 8th grader. I was like a sophomore or a junior. Yeah. But I also studied the stuff that I didn't like. Like I was not into like English lit and social studies and history, which is hard to believe given what my current love of history is. But I also studied hard for those because I just couldn't understand the point. And so it was a lot of reading and I didn't know why. And English, I never understood why we even had an English class. I'm like, unless you're going to teach English, you don't need this. Of course, as I've matured, I, of course, see the purpose. But no, I studied hard even for those. And I just liked to learn things, even if they weren't that interesting. So I think that just carried into my homework study habits. Like no one ever had to tell me, do your homework. Like I'm pretty sure those words never came out of my mom's mouth to me.
I'm thinking about when I was in school, there were no distractions like there are now.
Oh, none at all. Yeah.
The TV was the closest. You could have the TV on in the background, and then every 5 seconds you turn around.
But there weren't any shows on until 7:00 at night.
Right.
Like during the school day, during the evening, it was the news, and then 7, 8, and 9, or 7, 8, and 9, or here I guess it's 8, 9, and 10. And then the news came on, so there wasn't a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
Then video games came. That might have, I don't know, how old were you when you started playing video games?
I mean,
Young.
As long as I can remember, literally.
Oh, okay.
Like before I had a first memory, we were playing Mario. Well, no, about the same time I had my first memories we were already playing Mario.
Okay.
Because I remember at the apartment at IU, there was a Mario. Somebody was playing Mario. Anyway, I don't mind getting lost in distractions. Like, I think it's really fun sometimes to just go on the internet, go into a sinkhole, and then see where you come out on the other end, right?
When you do that, are you actually thinking that's what you're doing?
Almost never.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, though, is if I had decided, okay, I'm about to get lost in an internet hole, I don't mind doing that. That's totally fine. The thing I'm trying to get back to is where I've made a conscious choice to do that, because everything is vying for your attention now. You know how many streaming services there are now?
I can't imagine. I can't.
HBO Max, Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Hulu. The list just keeps growing. CBS, Tubi, NBC, Peacock, all these things. And it's like, yo, I only have so many hours in the day to watch stuff. And to be honest, I watch the same things over and over again, so I don't need all this. Actually, it's kind of funny because we just switched phone providers, so we don't have Netflix included with our phone plan anymore. And so my brother has Netflix, so I got you the password and the username. I haven't even signed in anywhere because I don't need Netflix specifically. I'm like, yo, I got these other ones. I got Disney Plus for the Mando. I got Amazon Prime for Star Trek, so I'm good. Hulu is great, though. Hulu is really good.
I've never found it. I've gotten on it, but there was some show I wanted to watch, and then I didn't end up watching it.
Because it has so many shows that I want to watch that all the other ones didn't have. But anyway.
We're losing our focus a little.
No. This is what I'm trying to get at. Is right now our focus is the podcast. Mm-hmm. We cannot lose focus unless one of us got up or started playing on our phone.
That's true.
We are doing the podcast.
I tried to do
now.
that.
So in the same way, like if I am working on something, as long as the task I set at hand, even if I like flit about from thing to thing, like, oh, I'm going to edit this portion, oh, maybe I'll go edit that portion. As long as I'm doing the ultimate task at hand, or like if I'm working on an episode and I'm in whatever, as long as what I'm doing is going towards the episode, I'm happy with my focus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Well, but I think that's the point of all of it is both you and I and many people that we have talked with or friends with, whatever. I think that we have made some conscious decision in the not that distant past to live better lives.
Yeah. I don't understand what the point of living is if that's not your goal. If your goal is not to constantly have bigger and better experiences, not even bigger, but better experiences. Like if your constant goal isn't to be like, how can I make my life and the lives around me better all the time?
Yeah.
Well, just climbing stairs.
Yeah. I disagree with that one because I think being contented, like have things that you do that still content you. You're still contented with, that it doesn't always have to be better, but it has to be that you are really enjoying it or getting some benefit from it that you intend to be getting. Like for instance, I will still watch Downton Abbey.
Well, I guess I didn't phrase that exactly right because I literally eat the same food every day and I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. But I want that food to be as enjoyable or more enjoyable than it was the day before.
Yeah.
And I do that by like making my general happiness level higher, and I sleep better, and I eat and I exercise better, so that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. But it's not that. Okay, well, I had this I had this experience today, but if it's not better tomorrow, no, it's not that.
No, that's not what I meant.
Okay, good, because I wholly did, because I think that is what a lot of people, especially if they're. Well, let me finish the sentence.
The DNA.
Yeah.
Explains a lot. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so I do think that there are a lot of people who look for the next thrill, or the, and not on big ways, but even just a little bit, that it, if it's, they get bored with the same thing or the same kind of thing, or just always got to change and be better. I think there is a need for change agents, and I'm one of those. I will look how to make things better, but I have certain things in my life that I could do over and over and over again, and not the joy or the contentment I get out of it. Like, right now I'm just thinking of, like, my grandsons. They're changing all the time, but I can just look at their old videos over and over, and so, like that, I will binge watch baby videos.
Yeah, that, as far as I'm concerned, technology was all worth it for you to have that photo album.
Oh my gosh.
You got a photo album literally from the time the first guy was born.
Absolutely.
Up until today. And you could, if you wanted to, you could spend, and sometimes you have.
I have.
Spend all night just watching them in chronological order.
I have done that. I've done that recently. I had some time off. I did it recently. But I can also, I can go to the video when Everett said Grandma Cindy for the first time. And it's the sweetest thing. And it makes me tear up every time. I don't care how many times I watch it. It's just that's what I want my life to be about. Like, I'm like you. I don't mind making a decision to binge watch Downton Abbey and try to finish all 6 seasons in a weekend, because it can be done.
Yeah.
As long as I've made that decision, and not that I've just got stuck watching, or I'm avoiding something else, or whatever it is. It's like if I'm going to do it, I want to sit down, focus. I want to have some meals ready, and really watch it.
Well, I think we are so out of control as a entity, like as a human being. We think we're pretty in control, but really, it's so many of our things are so automatic that I think it's important to kind of look at the automaticity of everything that happens in your life, and kind of make sure that the things that are happening automatically are a little bit more in line with what you actually want the direction of your life to be. Yeah.
So your program is a little bit more of what you want it to be. And then instead of just it happening, and then, 2 days later, like, why did that happen?
Yeah. It's like if you were walking in a room full of big balls or something, right? Just like, I don't know what, a room full of chairs. Okay. And each chair has an instruction on what you're going to be doing. And you want those chairs to be things that you typically want to be doing, not all the chairs to say, play on the internet, watch YouTube, play on the internet, which, I mean, watching YouTube is great. Everybody should watch YouTube.
Absolutely. Or listen to podcasts.
But you know what I'm saying, right? Like, you have all of these automatic instructions that you'll play out. So you want the room that you're in to be filled with automatic instructions that are more in line with.
Yeah. And then you use your intention, your focus as best you can to get yourself. And it happens, like, I know it's really old. We say it all the time, but the more you do something, the easier it becomes to do. Yeah. And just being able to focus even for a while. But my brain's going to lots of places. Part of being alive and getting joy out of life are the unintentional things that happen. Like that Twitter that led us to Ted Lasso.
That's the thing. It's like I keep trying to give up Twitter, but I think about how many great things I've discovered from Twitter. It's amazing how many great things I've discovered from Twitter. So, did you have more to say about that?
No, you can go ahead.
The current tack that I've taken is I've bookmarked Twitter people that I like to follow. And then I go to them specifically when I'm like, oh, I want to see if anybody's posted anything cool. But like made that, well, this is my goal. I haven't fully realized this yet, but to make that like a cordoned off thing. Oh, I'm going to check Twitter now. Because it's not like they're going anywhere. Like, especially when I bookmark each person, I can see everything they've posted in chronological order, so I can go back to the last one that I read. It's not like if I just have a timeline full of people, it's kind of scattered.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's why I never really understood Facebook and why I can, if I get on it, I'm stuck. But I can put it down and never pick it up again until somebody makes me. And I don't understand Twitter, so I don't even try. I still don't really understand. Is it just people that just have a thought and then they put it out there?
Yeah. It's kind of like the vlog. You know how I have random thoughts and I'll put them in, but there it's just like a sentence or two and a link. Oh, check out this article about carrots. Did you know that sunflowers are
Yellow?
It's kind of like that. It's like, it's a less monstrous version of Reddit. You know, Reddit is just infinitely entertaining, and it's like these bite-sized nuggets of usually just dandruff. Mm-hmm. Like you take a bite and then it's just dandruff. You're like, oh, well, that wasn't as good as I thought.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this the other day, because you have the dopamine hit every time that's why you scroll, is because you keep thinking you're gonna
It's like gambling. Yeah.
It's like you're gonna get something really good. I am doing that thing with the John Hopkins COVID map. I can't stop looking at it.
Yeah, I've noticed
I'm
that.
checking it all the time. And I have a screenshot since it was like at 6 million. Like every time it goes up 1 million, I take a screenshot. I was all excited today because we have been going up like every 30 hours. It goes up 1 million worldwide. And today it was like, we're almost 48 hours and it hadn't gone up 1 million. And I was like, boom.
30 hours, 1 million?
Mm-hmm. The United States is going up 1 million every 5 days, 4 now.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad. But it's that even when I try to not do it, like I was, okay, I'm just going to do it once a day, but because it just keeps getting faster and faster, and I want to catch it right at the million mark. I don't want to do it when it's 85,277,000. I want 85 million and a zero when I take my screenshot. But I can see like how easily, if you were getting good information once in a while, some really great nugget, and you knew how to use Twitter, how it could be really addictive. Because that's terrible information, and I'm addicted to it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just the problem, is every technology has extraordinary potential for good and extraordinary potential for bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not to get too philosophical, but everything is that way. People are that way.
Yeah.
We have people can be so multi-sided. Like you can be really phenomenal in some regard and or do something really horrible that it's so unlike everything else. I don't know. I think learning what you want your intentions to be, and at least making an effort to do the things you intend to do and not the things you don't intend to do.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that's the key to life, because there is some real satisfaction of saying, okay, these are my priorities, and then actually going towards those. There's a real internal, in your soul kind of feeling that even if you're not there, but you're with some consciousness making an effort to get there, I think it really helps a lot of people. I think for me, that's when I know I'm on my way to my best self, to my best life. Like when my grandkids were born, and I decided, come what may, I'm going to see them every month. When they were in Philadelphia, it was going to be every 2 months, but not Philadelphia, where they live, Pittsburgh. Yeah. Anyway,
Pennsylvania's a confusing state.
It is.
Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia.
Yeah, there are too many.
For a long time, I was like, dude, which one is the state? I know pretty solidly now that it's Pennsylvania's the state.
But I made that decision, and until COVID came along, I did it. Like I'm gonna make it happen. I saw them every month, and when COVID came along, and then there were several months, it was like a big hole in my life. But there was a time in my life when I would have said, "There's no way I can make a plan to do something like make a trip every month. No, I can't do it." But now it's just like I can't even understand why I ever thought that.
I don't know, but I do think that to do anything, like it always comes back to physical health.
Well, that's true.
Like if you're tired and stuff, like it's so easy to see how things falter. I think that. Well, I had a couple thoughts all at once, but
pick one. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like. Okay, well.
Finish.
My brain won't do it. It won't allow me.
Okay.
This idea that you have to like, I don't like the idea of struggle. I love the idea of struggle, actually. What I mean is, you know, people are like, oh, just keep struggling, and then you got to work hard, and you got to work, and you got to grind, and you got to
pull yourself up by your own bootstraps.
You know, I love Casey Neistat. Casey Neistat's awesome. This dude has it in him. He can do that. That is not a lifestyle for everyone. No. You have to be a Casey Neistat to do that. Maybe I've talked about this before. But especially he does something similar to what I do. So lots of times I see what he does. I'm like, oh, I need to do that. I need to do this. I need to do that. I haven't felt that in a long time, actually.
Good,
but
I'm glad.
I think more and more recently, I'm like, yo, you got to carve out the life that you see fit for yourself. Okay? And that is going to be different for different people. And yeah. Why did I bring that up?
I don't know, but actually, I think that's exactly what we're talking about. Maybe it's not so much the focus, but focus is just a thing that allows you to do the things you intend to do. And it is difficult, but not impossible, to choose how you want to live your life within whatever your circumstances are, and to be okay with that, and to be okay with changing things to try to change what the circumstances are. Yeah. So it is going to be different for everybody. Everybody's going to have their own struggles, you know, whether it's your health or it's money or it's, you know.
Yeah. And also you're already on a set of tracks, right? So like those tracks are kind of laid down way before you had any control over it.
Yeah.
Like it's who you were born to, where you were born, what the financial circumstances were, how you did in school. That may or may not have been your fault or whatever. So your tracks are going to they're going to kind of limit your options, but
well, I agree.
But you got to like put down new tracks to the best of your ability, but not worry that you're never going to be able to hit the same highs that somebody else.
Exactly. Well, and yes,
because people will hit different highs.
Yeah. They will. And the highs will mean different things to different people.
Yeah.
Like there are plenty of people who, quote, were successful who have killed themselves or, have just turned around and hit rock bottom. They're not happy, not satisfied with their lives. But I think what we're talking about now with New Year's resolutions, with focus, with intention, is if you're on a track, but you really want to be over here, you can't do this.
Right. There you go. Yeah. You can't do a right angle turn.
Yeah. You just can't get there immediately.
Yeah.
You've got to make some little angles. It's like using straight lines to make a circle. It's going to take a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to take a little bit of maneuvering.
Yeah.
To get there. And maybe you won't in this lifetime. But I personally believe that a satisfying life is one where you find the joy along the way, wiggling your way to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And
wiggling. Yeah, we're all a bunch of just worms wiggling slowly to the... Yeah. And also, I think this is my favorite thing in the world. This thought in particular is that no matter what happens, no matter how unfair life is and how many monsters get elected to positions of power, nobody can take away the feeling of eating a chocolate chip cookie from you. Do you know what I mean? Like, no matter what all that happens, you got to eat that chocolate chip cookie and you got to have that experience, and nobody can take that away from you. Like, no matter how unfair life is or how other people are gaming the system and having more, or some people have more than they should and other people have less than they should,
Mm-hmm.
From the top to the bottom, everybody gets to eat the chocolate chip cookie and have their own personal experience.
Yeah. And the key to that is noticing that you're having them.
Yeah. Like, instead of eating the chocolate chip cookie, be like, man, I bet that chocolate chip cookie tastes better,
Yeah. Or just eating the chocolate chip cookie while you're busily thinking about something else.
Yeah.
That you can't be doing anything about it right then anyway. Maybe I've talked about this before, but I just want to talk about taste for a minute because you brought up the chocolate chip cookie. Because the truth of the matter is that when you pay attention while you're eating, things actually taste different unless you've got COVID and your taste buds are all messed up right now, which I have several friends that are having that problem right now. I read this about how, just some mindfulness while you're chewing something, and they suggested a grape. And I put a green grape in my mouth and just bit it and didn't chew it, just let the juice get in. And it was so intense. It's like, I never knew grapes tasted like that. And if I could, I'd eat less if I just would take my time to do that. But I think all of life is like that.
Well, I wonder how maybe it's our brains are just weak. Maybe that's the point of meditation, is to help your brain literally get strong enough. Like, I don't mean strong enough in a metaphor. I mean, like, literally, maybe there's some workouts it has to do to be able to focus on things, because I do find it tiring to always be paying attention to what I'm doing.
It is tiring.
It's much easier to not pay attention to things and to just be like, let whatever sensation comes in, just let that be the sensation instead of focusing on a certain one.
Yeah. And I think the lucky people, and I'm going to count myself in that, are the ones that find something that they can do regularly and maybe make money out of it, that it's pretty easy to stay focused.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be a lot going on to get me in the middle of my class to forget. I mean, I might be thinking, about them out there or something, and I might forget a step, but I'm never not paying attention to dancing unless there's something really bizarre going on. Like today I did it. I was actually, we have, staff members out with exposure to COVID or COVID. And in the middle of my class, I didn't even know what song I was doing. And I just stopped like a deer in the headlights. I was like, oh yeah, now I know. But it was because I had some thought about what I should do as soon as my class was over to deal with a situation. Mm-hmm. That so seldom happens, because I do find, and I can do I know you're dying to do new songs, and I feel like I ought to do some new songs for my students. but I personally can keep doing them. It's not getting boring yet. And some of them I've been doing since 2010.
Yeah. No, that definitely has not occurred for me. They're all extremely boring. But it just takes work. I don't know.
It is. Well, some of it's work. Some of it's not, though.
Sometimes it's not work, but
Yeah.
maybe that's what we should talk about next time is why some things are work and some things aren't. Because like music writing, when it's good, it has so much, you know what dynamic range is? It's like the brightest brights and the darkest darks. It has the widest dynamic range of anything that I do. Like when music is good, it's better than anything. Like literally it's probably my favorite feeling in the world to write a good song and to play it back. And then as you're writing it, new ideas come and then you're like, this is it. And then you hear it and then you hear me scream in the other room.
Ah!
It's the best feeling possible. And then when it's not going well and I'm just playing a C major chord and then a B flat major chord and I just go back and forth between them, just like... and I just want to shoot myself. It is the worst feeling possible. Why is it that sometimes it's good and sometimes bad? We should talk about that next time.
Yes, we should, because I have some real questions about that.
Yeah. Okay, let me check our timer here. Okay, this is like a 50-minute podcast, maybe it's slightly less. Since we're getting back started, I want to end it here because I'm getting really hungry. But yeah, we're going to do this 2 Tuesdays a month.
First and third.
So some months we'll only have 2 episodes.
And when will it be posted? Really on Tuesdays?
Yeah, if we do it early enough. This one's going to be on Wednesday. But yes, it'll be on YouTube. And if you search the Revel Podcast with Robby and Cindy on your podcast thing of choice.
Searcher.
Yeah. Man, I was listening to podcasts way before. I made a podcast with Andrew way before it was cool. We started ours in 2001.
Wow.
Yeah. We started it before Andrew's voice had changed.
Wow.
There was a big gap between the first and the second episode. So the first episode, his voice hadn't changed yet. Second episode had changed. And then third, fourth, fifth, gradually it changed more and more.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And we haven't done one in years, but we started it before there was a thing. I posted it on my own personal website that just me and Andrew would listen to. And then it's kind of funny. I had weird timing. Like I was just a little bit too early for a lot of technologies. Like podcasting, I was too early for it. And by the time it was mainstream, I forgot about it. YouTube, I was there, but I didn't. No. YouTube, when I was making my videos and I would have posted, like, I made videos every weekend in high school. We made all those short films.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been on YouTube and that would have developed into something. Like if YouTube had come out 5 years earlier. No, actually it would only, 5. Came out in 2006. If it came out in 2001 when I started doing those movies, I would probably be doing something else right now. And I'm not complaining about this. It's not a big deal. No. It's just interesting to me that I was 5 years too early for YouTube because I didn't make videos almost at all in college. And that's when YouTube came out like my junior year of college. Maybe it was my senior year. It was my senior year. No, it might have came out junior year, but I posted my first YouTube video senior year. It was called Montezuma's Revenge. And it was
Josh.
Josh, yeah. We just showed his legs and he was pretending to poop and I was blowing bubbles into this glass of water. That got 20,000 views, but it's so funny too because I didn't know. In fact, it's so weird the weird thoughts that I've had about the internet. When Google, I've told this story before, but when I was in high school, I was in the library and our teacher was like, "Oh, use Google. It's a good search engine for scholarly articles." I'm like, I'm not using google.com. What type of stupid name is that for a website? I'm going to use alltheweb.com. It's just some random search engine back in the day. And I was so incredibly wrong. When YouTube first came out, and both of these are about Google for some reason, because YouTube's owned by Google. Now, anyways, at the time it wasn't. When YouTube first came out, the first video I saw was a Russell Peters video that somebody had uploaded to. That's Russell Peters owes his career to YouTube. Actually, he was in the right place at the right time and people uploaded his videos at the right time. Anyway, somebody posted a Russell Peters video on a gaming message board and I clicked on it and I watched it. I was like, oh, this is hilarious. But I remember seeing the website. I was like, somebody made another website where you can post your own dumb videos. Who would think that that is a good idea? That's the actual.
I actually don't think you have admitted that on in a podcast.
I've
before.
definitely told people that before,
But you haven't. I don't think that on here.
It's so absurd to me that that was my thought. Like, what kind of short-sighted, dumb idiot? But also, even when I realized the utility of YouTube and putting your own videos on there, and I posted Montezuma's Revenge, it never occurred to me in a million years that you could make money off of it. I was just like, who's putting these videos? Who's going to all this effort to put videos on YouTube? And why? For what? Like, you just want people to watch your stuff? Who cares? Like, if I had had a little more desire to be famous, maybe that would have helped me because I would have posted videos because I wanted people to see my videos, not because I wanted to make money. But for some reason, it's so dumb though. Like,
No, I disagree. Like, I think you're beating yourself up a little bit.
Maybe.
Because, first of all, you have no business sense.
well, that's true.
And secondly, most people that aren't of your generation are still going, what exactly? I'm like, how did that get Why would anybody start watching that?
I guess
we
that's
didn't
a
think
good
about
point, yeah.
ads. We didn't think about, any of that kind of stuff. And,
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
and
like a viable career path.
Oh, it is.
Like,
Yeah.
you have to have, it's no less viable than the entertainment industry. And in many respects, it's more viable.
I was going to say it's probably, especially right now, because you can do it by yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to get a group of people together. But like when we started streaming classes in March when the center shut down,
Yeah.
we have 500 members. I probably had to help
499.
not that many because some of them are Revel members and they were younger, but many of them were like didn't know what YouTube is. Like, what is that? I was and I just stopped trying to explain it. I was just like, just click on that blue stuff. And I had people say, what do you mean click on it? I'm like, okay, take your mouse.
You move it.
Yeah, you hover
then
over
there's
that.
a button. You press the button.
Yes. I wrote instructions in emails just exactly like that. So I don't think it's fair that you didn't happen to be the one that figured it out right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just silly, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
In any case, like, it's worked out fine. Like, I do YouTube as a career now. So
Yes.
Yeah, it's also funny. It's even funnier because I had two famous YouTubers. Well, I don't know if both of them are famous now. One of them definitely still does it. But they were staying at my apartment when I was in New York because my roommate, he was friends with them. Oh, I can't remember what their names are. Some like Asian American YouTubers or something.
Are they brothers?
Maybe they were brothers. The Fong
No, I know.
brothers or
I
something?
know I know. I can see their faces.
Yeah, not Fong brothers. That's a different brothers who I also had a tangential, almost met them. That one's hard to explain, but I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, but it just never even occurred to me then. They were making money on YouTube. They were making money as YouTubers in 2008. They were doing they would give talks at universities and stuff. That's the real money. Giving talks at universities, they would make like $30,000 a talk. I'm like, who's paying somebody $30,000 to give an hour talk? Where's all this money coming from? Give me some of it. Okay, and with that, I think we should end
All right.
it.
Yeah. Well, now I think it's probably an hour anyway.
Yep, it's 3 minutes and 23 seconds, and this timer's going to go off, although we may not have gotten all the way. Anyways, thank you very much for watching the Revel Podcast with Robby and Cindy. We'll be back the Tuesday after next.
Yeah, 2 weeks. We'll be back.
Yeah, the third Tuesday in January. So we'll see you guys next time.